Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate 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 Vasudevaya.
So I'm very fortunate that this cloudy morning in Paris, I'll be with the devotees. Yeah. And we will be reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 8th canto, chapter 21, Bali Maharaj arrested by the Lord, text 26. So kindly repeat after me. Atam Tarksha Sutaham Jnatvam Virat Prabhu Chikirshitam Babandham Varunaihi Pashaihi Balim Sutye Somarasa. Excuse me, that is from translation. Ahani Krato Atatarksha Suto Gnatva
Atatarksha Suto Gnatva
Atatarksha Suto Gnatva
Atatarksha Suto Gnatva
Virat Prabhu Chikirshitam
Virat Prabhu Chikirshitam
Virat Prabhu Chikirshitam
Virat Prabhu Chikirshitam
Babandha Varunai Pashair
Bandhanai Pashaye
Babandha Varunai Pashair
Babandha Varunai Pashaye
Balim Sutye Hani Kritau
Balim Sutye Hani Kritau
Balim Sutye Hani Kritau
Balim Sutye Hani Kritau
Atatarksha Suto Gnatva
Atatarksha Suto Gnatva
Virat Prabhu Chikirshitam
Virat Prabhu Chikirshitam
Babandha Varunai Pashair
Babandha Varunai Pashaye
Balim Sutye Hani Kritau
Balim Sutye Hani Kritau Atataksya Suto Gyatva Atataksya Suto Gyatva
First day college.
Virat Prabhu Shikirshitam
Virat Prabhu Shikirshitam
Babanda Varunai Pashe
Bhavana Varunai Pashe
Balim Sutye Hari Krato
Balim Sute Hari Krita Atataksha Suto Dyatva
Atataksya Suto Gyatva
Virat Prabhu Shikirshitam
Virat Prabhu Shikirshitam
Bhavana Varunai Pashe
Babanda Varunai Pashe
Balim Sute Hani Krita
Balim Sutye Hari Krato.
Would you like? Tarksha.
Atataksha Suto Jnatva
Atataksha Suto Gyatva
Virat Prabhu Chikirshitam
Virat Prabhu Shikirshitam
Babanda Varuai Pasai
Babandha Varunai Pashair
Balim Sutyeha Ani Katau
Balim Sutye Hani Krato.
Would you like to try?
Oh my God,
You said it, today it's your first day of college, so
Yeah, it's good.
this is your college as well. Actually, just there is a, since we speak about the education before we continue, there is one nice verse in this chapter. It kindly explains the whole purpose of education from the Vedic point of view. Shall I read for you shortly? Yeah, one verse.
We have to train is that we have to go also. It will take time.
No, one verse.
Okay.
Among the great personalities who came to worship the lotus feet of the Lord were those who had attained perfection in self-control and regulatory principles, as well as experts in logic, that's Nyaya, history, Itihasa, general education, and the Vedic literature known as Kalpa. Others were experts in the Vedic corollaries like Brahma Samhita, all the other knowledge of the Vedas, Sama, Yajur, Rig, and Atharva, and also the supplementary Vedic knowledge, Ayurveda, means medicine, Dhanurveda, military science, Gandharva Veda, arts, and the etc. Others were those who had been freed of the reactions to fruitive activities by transcendental knowledge awakened by practice of yoga. And still others were those who had attained residence in Brahmaloka, not by ordinary karma, but by advanced Vedic knowledge. After devotedly worshipping the upraised lotus feet of the Supreme Lord with oblations of water, Lord Brahma, who was born of the lotus emanating from Lord Vishnu's navel, offered prayers to the Lord. Such a wonderful description how Vedic literature personified the Shruti Ganas. They show the purpose of knowledge, and that is to worship the Lord. So whatever knowledge we acquire in life, we should finally use in Lord's service, in Lord Krishna's service. Otherwise it will just create a bandhana or the bondage in this world. We can become a great scientist or a great poet or a great philosopher, but if we don't connect it with Krishna consciousness, then it can be the cause of our bondage in this world. Otherwise, if we use the same knowledge to please the Lord and explain how the aparavidya or material knowledge is connected with paravidya or transcendental knowledge, then this aparavidya or our education will be successful. Otherwise, it's unsuccessful. It will create more of karma, more of samsara, and another birth. So it's very, I think, auspicious for you that at the beginning of your education you heard this.
Yeah.
So it's a kind of a conclusion of all Vedic knowledge. So wish you all the best and your education, and you can always come to temple and whatever you study you can use in Krishna's service. What will be your subject? Sorry?
Max and computer science.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Very nice. Take care.
Thank you.
Alright, so we'll read Singing. Prabhu, till which time we have? 8:45?
If you want some question after, yes. Otherwise, you can finish it.
Yeah, sure. So we'll continue with Singing. Ata, thereafter, Tarksha Sutaha, Garuda, Nyatva, knowing, Virat, the king of birds, Prabhu Chikirshitam, the desire of Lord Vishnu as Vamanadeva, Babandha, arrested, Varunayhim, belong to Varuna, Pashaihi, by the ropes, Balim, Bali, Sutye, when Somarasa is taken, Ahani, on the day, Kratau, at the time of sacrifice. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada.
Did you start to read verse 24? Because
26.
we finished on 23rd and there is no purport on 24, 25,
Right.
and we will reach 26 now. You see, so
because
we
you
read
sent
from
me the-
24 to 26.
No problem, I can.
Yeah,
Because yesterday you sent me
it's
the.
true. Yeah,
And therefore, Prabhuji was thinking that it's 24. No?
it's a mistake from my part. Sorry.
So I will just read in Sanskrit and English and know word by word, yeah?
Mhm.
Like it?
Yeah.
Okay. Etan vayam vijayashamom, pardon me, etan vayam vijayashyamo yadi daivam prasidati tasmat kalam pratikshadvam yono tattvaya kalpate. Unless providence is in our favor, we should not be able to gain victory. Therefore, we must wait for the favorable time when our defeating them will be possible. Shri Shuka Uvacham Pratyo Nigaditam Shrutva Daityadhanava Yutapaham Rasam Nirviveshu Rajam Vishnu Parshadathaditaham. Shukadeva Goswami continued, O king, in accordance with the order of their master, Bali Maharaj, all the chiefs of the demons and daityas entered the lower regions of the universe, to which they were driven by the soldiers of Vishnu. And then 26, yeah? Thereafter, on the day of Somapana, after the sacrifice was finished, Garuda, king of the birds, understanding the desire of his master, arrested Bali Maharaj with the robes of Varuna. Purport. Garuda, the constant companion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, knows the confidential part of the Lord's desire. Bali Maharaj's tolerance and devotion were undoubtedly super excellent. Garuda arrested Bali Maharaj to show the entire universe the greatness of their king's tolerance. So, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu have relished among all Vedic literature the Srimad Bhagavatam the most, because it describes the pastimes of Krishna with Brajavasis, and especially he was interested in hearing the 10th canto, Pancharasa Adhyaya, the 5 chapters describing Krishna's relationship with gopis. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually is Krishna himself who came to experience the emotions of love of Srimati Radharani for Krishna. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself in the position of Srimati Radharani, and for that purpose he appeared in this world. Prema rasa nivasa korite asvagadana, raga marga bhakti loke korite pracharana. He came to taste the mellows of love of Godhead. Asvadati means to taste, and he accepted the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for that reason. And to relish that those emotions of gopis, he had tasted Srimad Bhagavatam, because Srimad Bhagavatam is not different from Krishna. Krishna Tulya Bhagavata. Tulya means identical with. So how is Srimad Bhagavatam identical with Krishna? Krishna is Parabrahman, and Srimad Bhagavatam is Shabda Brahman. And Shabda, the sound, is the sound of Krishna's words and Krishna's thoughts. So in reading Srimad Bhagavatam, we are hearing Krishna's words and we are hearing also Krishna's thoughts. So for that reason, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Shri Bhagavat Rasa Tattva Korila Prachara Krishna Tulya Bhagavata Janaila Samsara. This Srimad Bhagavatam is full of truths and mellows of Lord Shri Krishna, and in that way Janaila Samsara can liberate the Janas, or the people of this world. And because it's not different from Krishna, therefore he was preaching the Karila Prachara. Because if we associate with Krishna, there is no Maya over there. So whoever associates with Krishna, then naturally Maya disappears. And what is Maya? Maya is our ignorance that we want to enjoy separately from Krishna. And if we get the knowledge or awareness of our connection with Krishna, then naturally we're not producing karma. So for that reason, and very practically, Lord Chaitanya instructed that we study Srimad Bhagavatam. And for Gaudiya Vaishnavas, Srimad Bhagavatam means Pradhana Shastra, It is the foundational scripture. There are so many Vedic literatures, just like we read from the fourth verse. Vedopa Veda Niyama Yamanvitas Tarketihasanga Purana Samhita Ye Chapra Yoga Samira Divita Jnanangnina Nandita Karma Karma Saha. So here is described the 14 books of Vedic knowledge. Veda, Chaturveda, Upaveda, Chaturupaveda, Shatvedanga, Chaturupanga, Shadarshas, all kinds of scriptures are there. But Lord Chaitanya said that all this literature finally is culminated in worshipping the Supreme Lord. And this verse which we read for this girl auspiciously is describing what is the real purpose of Vedic literature. That is to glorify the Supreme Lord. The purpose of all knowledge is to be used in Krishna's service, otherwise it becomes avidya. If we learn any of these limbs of knowledge, like Gandharva Shastra or Ayurveda or whatsoever, and we use for ourselves, then this becomes avidya. So aparavidya becomes avidya. Material knowledge becomes ignorance if it doesn't give us understanding who we are, what is the purpose of life, and who is Krishna. So, but the same knowledge, aparavidya, Radha Parisisvara Mandir, but the same knowledge, if we use in Krishna's service, then we will be very successful in life, because it will not create the bondage, Hridaya Granthi within our heart. And we see how Srila Prabhupada, when he came to West, he was very successful in promotion of Srimad Bhagavatam, because he asked his disciples on the one thing: doubt your propensity in Krishna consciousness. So whatever quality you have, whatever skill you have, use in Krishna's service. For example, Mataji Adarani is a painter, paint for Krishna. Vishnujan Maharaj was a musician, go on and street do Sankirtan. Tamala Krishna Goswami was a philosopher. Teach Yoga brothers about philosophy. Hagriva Prabhu was an editor, linguist, so edit my books. So doubt your propensity in Krishna consciousness is a key of not only attracting people to Krishna consciousness, but also to freeing ourselves from material tendencies. We can restrict our tendencies through niyama, those which are not favorable, but through yama or avidhi, we use our nature in Krishna's service. So in that way, the knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam is very practical, and the Srimad Bhagavatam is full of different kinds of knowledge. We can find Artha Shastra, Dharma Shastra inside, Niti Shastra, you can find Gandharva Veda inside. There are so many, all kinds of knowledge are there. But it is from the perspective how Paramahamsas have used their nature in Krishna's service and achieved perfection. Just like Bali Maharaj here, he was a king. He was performing Kshatriya Dharma, but he is glorified as a great devotee. So how he surrendered not only the whole kingdom or universe, but also he surrendered himself. So we see how the Paramahamsa can act actually even in this world, but simultaneously be Bhagavata or Mahabhagavata, the great personality. So the spiritual elevation is not dependent on our social position, or also our religious position, Varna or Ashram. So you can be Kshatriya like him, you can be Brahmana, Vaishya or a Shudra, but still you can be a Mahabhagavata. You can be Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi. You can be Mahabhagavata, and he is glorified as one of Mahajanas. So such a great position from him. So basically, story about him is glorifying Atmanivedana. Atmanivedana is the surrendering the self to the Lord. It is one of Navavidha Bhakti, 9 limbs of devotional service. So this story is glorifying Bhakti Tattva. It's glorifying the truth of devotional service. And especially in this context, in 8th canto, is bringing us closer to 10th canto, where we want to understand the full self-surrender of Vrajavasis and especially Gopis. Because the Gaudiya Vaishnavas have the tendency to revere and adore the position of Gopis as the most self-surrendering, self-sacrificing devotees of Krishna. They have abandoned all kinds of dharmas, kula dharma, family duties, jati dharma, community duties, stri dharma, that means woman duties, just for the pleasure of Krishna. In Nectar of Devotion, Srila Prabhupada says that this verse, Dharmam Parityaja, actually speaks about Srimati Radharani and Gopis, because they have abandoned everything for the pleasure of Krishna. So that is the full self-surrender. Always think of Krishna. Manmana Bhava Manbhakta means actually they, finally in the perfection means they, the Vrajavasis, the Gopis of Vrindavan. So sometimes we think about it very abstract, but it is part of our sadhana, not to imitate them, but to follow in practical way. So what practically we can follow from them is a couple of things, that unless the Gopis are in connection with Srimati Radharani, unless they are instructed by Srimati Radharani, even in proximity to Krishna, and they can enjoy with Krishna, they will never do it. So unless we get the, to say, the blessings of senior Vaishnavas, the Guru Parampara, to do some service, we don't want to do it. We want to please senior Vaishnavas. We never want to please Krishna directly. Gopi Bhaktu Pada Kamalu Dasa Dasa Anudasaka. So this Dasa Dasa Anudasaka means to be in that mood. The servant of servant of servant, but in the Gopi Bhartu, in the mood of Gopis. So the Guru Parampara is bringing us that mood. The most important thing which we can learn from Guru is the mood. And that is the mood of Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Not to desiring to be in proximity of Krishna, but in the servants of servants of servants of Gopis and or servants of Srimati Radharani. That is the most reverable by our Guru Parampara. And another thing from their self-surrender is that they never try to enjoy the service. Even when Krishna is joined with them directly, they never want to satisfy their senses. Krishna is such a beautiful person, the most beautiful. Sundara, Shyama Sundara. So how you cannot enjoy? Because in this world we know that if you see a beautiful person, immediately you want to enjoy. Oh, he's so wonderful. I want to be in his association, but they don't want. So we don't want to enjoy Krishna's service. We want to give pleasure to Krishna, and that pleasure is giving us the pleasure. So this is how we develop transcendental senses, that we give pleasure to Krishna. So the story of Bali Maharaj should always be seen in Shastra Sangati, with the connection with the conclusion of Shastra, that is the 10th canto. And we should see it from that perspective. So in the story of Bali Maharaj, as you were reading, he promised 3 steps to Vamanadeva, and I will not be narrating the whole story. I'll just try to get the excerpts which can bring us closer to here. So he offered 3 steps, but he was not able to fulfill So finally he had to offer his head. Meanwhile, it's interesting the point of Guru Tyaga, because his Guru was not telling him to surrender anything, not to give even 3 steps to this brahmachari Vamanadev. And his Guru was Asura Guru, the spiritual master of demons, Shukracharya. And Shukracharya had the tendency to teach materialism. And in the West, there's so much of teaching of materialism, especially by European philosophers. So they are kind of inspired by Shukracharya, the Guru of Devas. He's teaching us that everything is temporary, only Atma is real. And therefore, for that purpose, you should come to a state of reality. And that means to understand what is Atma and what is Paramatma. So, as story goes, when Vamanadev have come to the sacrifice, he appeared at the sacrifice, the Shukracharya whispered that he should not give the land, the 3 steps of the land to Vamanadev. And basically Vamanadev cheated Bali Maharaj. When Shukracharya warned him, he told him, like, this personality will cheat you. And the same way our brahmachari is going outside to people and asking them for donation, but this donation and this book will one day change their life. So it will take everything from their life. You know? So you should be careful whom you meet on the street, and they can ask you a little bit, just give whatever you can from your pocket and some donation. But this book changed their life, like changed my life, changed your life. And so with the Lord, you never know how He's going to expand. So what happened in Bali Maharaj, the Shukracharya, he wanted to retaliate to Vamanadev, and he took the form of a fly, and he came on the kamandalu of Vamanadev, and Vamanadev realized him and took one kusha grass. Kusha grass is the hair from the Lord Varahadev's body when he shook and felt all around the world. Therefore we have kusha grass and Bhumandala, which we use in Yagya. So he took one and he pierced his eye as a fly. And since that time the Shukracharya doesn't see on the right eye. It means that he lost the spiritual sight. Symbolically, he can't envision the spiritual knowledge, and he is only engaged in propagating material knowledge. He is called Sarva Shastra Pravartaka. He propagates all kinds of shastras, like we read all those shastras, but not in connection with Krishna consciousness. Become Gandharva, become a musician, enjoy poetry like French poetry. No, it's so much celebrated French language. No, it's very feminine. Prabhupada said it's beautiful. So enjoy life. Is So that's Shukracharya. He is teaching like that, in opposition to Brihaspati. So then, interestingly, what happened with this Shukracharya? He gave a vow: I will come in future, and I will disturb your movement. In future, when you appear in next incarnation, I will disturb your movement. And he appeared as Rupa Kaviraj in 17th century in Assam. Assam is the state in India. And he entered the movement of Lord Chaitanya. He became Gaudiya Vaishnav, Rupa Kaviraj. A very little written about him by Acharyas, but it's written. And he got initiation by Krishna Charan Baba Chakravarti means, or Krishna Das, Shri Krishna Charan Das Chakravarti or Baba Chakravarti in Radha Kund, and he was growing on in spiritual life and learning bhagavatam from Sri Mukunda Das, and he became very proud of his scholarship. He was very nicely propagating Srimad Bhagavatam. He knew everything about Srimad Bhagavatam. And in those times there used to live one great saintly Vaishnavi, Shri Krishna Priya Thakurani, and she entered the class of Srimad Bhagavatam. And as she entered, she couldn't stop her lips, she was always chanting. She was very elevated Vaishnavi. And as she sat down, he was narrating Srimad Bhagavatam. He was disturbed by that, like how she's chanting and she's listening to Srimad Bhagavatam. And he shouted, "Why you are chanting it while I'm reciting Srimad Bhagavatam? How is possible you are chanting and hearing?" And then she pardoned herself, "I can't stop. And my heart is always chanting, and it's not impeding my hearing of your Srimad Bhagavatam." So, but because of his arrogance, he offended this Vaishnavi. This was the part of fall down of him from his position as Vaishnava. He was actually very exalted as well in his spiritual emotions towards Krishna, but because of this offense he fell down and he became Ativadi. We call what is called Ativadi, Apasampradaya. And later many Apasampradayas developed, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur summarized them as 13. Ativadi is one of them. Ati means overly or very exaggerated. Literally means too great. Ativadi, one who glorifies himself. I'm so great in my bhakti, I'm so great in my scholarship, etc., etc. Well, we can think about himself, but we should also see in our life how much I think I am great about. Because Gaudiyas don't think that they are doing so much. They always think I can do much more. And in that way we are protecting ourselves from pride. Because if we see, I can do so much more, then what have I did? It's nothing. So we can always have the attitude of humility through seeing abilities to do service. However, he entered the Lord Chaitanya's movement with that pride, and later the daughter of Srinivasacharya, Shri Hemalata Thakurani, was hearing about his activities, and he wrote or forged one manuscript and he said, "This is written by Rupa Goswami." And over there he described that yes, you can imitate the gopis, you can dress like a gopi as a male and imitate their dancing and engaging in Rasa Lila and other activities. In that way you will provoke the emotion of gopis. So he did a great offense as well to Rupa Goswami by forging this manuscript. So it was not at all auspicious for himself and other Vaishnavas. So the Shri Hemalata Thakurani came and pulled his Tulasi Mala. And since that time, his followers, Ativadis, they wear only one line of Tulasis, because only one line stayed around his neck. And to prove that whatever their guru is doing is great, they still wear like that. However, he developed, because of these offenses, he developed leprosy. And for that reason he was hiding and finally went to his guru in Bengal. However, the rumors of his offenses spread quickly, and they came to Bengal as well, and from there he ran to Orissa, so he contaminated Gaudiya Vaishnava society in Vraja, in Navadvip, and in Puri then. He lived in one village in Puri. However, his leprosy developed very quickly and died in great pain. So, however, the Ativadi philosophy stayed among upper sampradayas, and there are 13 upper sampradayas, and you can say so many branches among them, but we should always not learn them to condemn others, but see in our heart how we are cultivating them, because they may not be, we may not exhibit them, they may not be publicly exhibited, but in the heart we have so many kinds of wrong conceptions called tattva vibhrama. We don't understand the tattva because we don't study Shastra properly, and then we have false conceptions. But basically, the upper sampradayas can be either smarta upper sampradayas or sahajas upper sampradayas. Smarta means to follow the rules, regulations without understanding the real purpose behind them. That is niyamagraha, like Rupa Goswami have instructed us. Niyamagraha. You follow rules and regulations just for the sake of following rules and regulations. That's Vidi Bhakti. We should know to what should our Vidi bring us. Why we are doing deity worship, why we are chanting Maha Mantra in this way, in that way. So these Vidis are bringing us closer to, finally to Ragamanta Bhakti, then Raga to Bhava, Bhava to Prema. So we need to know the real purpose of Vidis, and that is to please Krishna. And otherwise we become smartas. Smartas in India, they just do puja or yaga and think that by that they are achieving perfection. However, there is another extreme, that is sahajiyas. Sahajiyas are those who say, what is the use of following rules and regulations with this? We should follow Radha. We should engage in remembering the pastimes and imitating these pastimes. So this is also extreme and premature, and doesn't bring us to the platform of Nishta, from where we can finally get some taste for hearing about the pastimes of Krishna. So both are addressed by Rupa Goswami, and those who are followers of Rupa Goswami trying to follow that, not the middle path, but the right path. You follow the rules and regulations, but the desire to please Krishna. In that way our senses are engaged through Vidis, but within our heart we are trying to develop Raga. And what is Raga? Raga or Anuraga is natural tendency to serve Krishna, to please Krishna. So if we follow rules but don't develop this desire to please Krishna, actually is not favorable for development of bhakti. It will create in one day in our heart two austere tendencies, and we'll think, oh, bhakti is just to execute deity worship, and I disregard Vaishnavas. I'm very good in deity worship, but I don't see the Lord Parisisvara in the heart of Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis, in the Parisvasis, and like that. So unless we see that, we will not be able to come to Madhyama level. So Madhyama level is not only seeing the Lord in the temple, but outside of the temple as well. Because the Paris belongs to Parisishvara. Paris is the energy of Krishna. Everything is energy of Krishna. So when we see the energy in connection with Krishna, that is reality, that is truth. But when we see energy separately from Krishna, that is Maya. So if we see the Paris separately from Parisishvara, that is Maya. Interesting, So, of course, we see also how people are not in remembrance of Parisishvara, remembrance of Krishna. But however, if we think like that, we are also in Maya. Or nothing, this world is, sometimes we say this world is Maya. You know that this is a philosophical deviation, it's Apasiddhanta. This world is not Maya. This world is Maya if you want to enjoy it. This world is opportunity to serve Krishna. It's Krishna's energy meant for Krishna's pleasure. The Maya is only our perception of the world. If I see this world as a possibility to enjoy, then it's Maya. Otherwise, it is opportunity to serve Krishna. So it is up to us, to our purity, how we're gonna see the world and finally learn the lessons from Srimad Bhagavatam, from our Guru Parampara. Otherwise, we'll listen Shukracharya, Rupa Kaviraj, will not give anything to Krishna, will become miser. Even 3 steps, you're a great king, and your Guru tells you, don't give even 3 steps. It means your Guru is telling you to be miser. And our education in general is telling us how to be miser. Very cynical person, they don't know, I know, I'm better than them, look how much degree I have in education. So finally you just work for a salary. The salary is so minimal and you think it's so great. Miser, you don't want to give anything to others, you don't work for the benefit, welfare of humanity. And in that way we just think of why I'm not so satisfied. And it's because of education. But real education should teach us finally how to be happy and blissful. Therefore, although this temple is not big as universities in Paris, this is the greatest university. So in that way, we should try to learn Srimad Bhagavatam from Guru Parampara and not from Shukracharya and his followers. So thank you so much, and request if there is any comment or question. Yes, bro.
Did I understand it right that Shukracharya, he appeared again in the 1700s, 1800s
Yes,
as
bro.
Rupa Kaviraj?
Yes, bro.
And he is also responsible for the upper sampradayas. In a way, I was thinking about the 2 lines that Prabhupada he always referred to as Bhagavad Vidi and Pancharachika Vidi. Then the question always arises: how can we balance? How can we bring both lines to balance, not to deviate to either both directions too much?
Right, very good, bro. So that was always controversy, and it's still controversy, because this Srimad Bhagavatam is Paramahamsa Samhita. It is for people who have abandoned not only their varna but also their ashrama. So how we can do this? Because he's speaking about Mahabhagavad, how we can understand? Because the sannyasi, he abandons varna, doesn't work, doesn't have job. But Paramahamsa is the one who abandons even sannyasa ashram. The sannyasi is still in ashram, he follows varna ashram. But Paramahamsa, he abandons even ashram. So are we on this level? No, we are not. So therefore, along with these 2, Bhagavad Vidi and Shraddha Vidi, there is a 3rd one, Vedika Vidi. Vedika Vidi means our occupation and our spiritual position in this world. Means ashrama, varna and ashrama. So along with these 2, we should balance the 3rd one. Because there are married people, unmarried people, those who are not yet married but they want to be married, those who
Married and don't want to be married.
I wanted to say another thing. Yes, that's also there. But wanted to say the people who retire, vanaprasthas, those who remain separately or whatsoever. There are all options are there. So how to situate ourselves now? So it's part of self-realization. And if we don't follow actually this all three, it will always create this balance. Unfortunately, in our society, we didn't realize the third one, Vedic program. We always think Varnashram means cultivating the field and attending the cows and things like that. It is just one tiny part of Vaishya Varna. Like Varnashram can be only in village. Sorry?
There is such an image.
Yeah, but that's like social narrative, but it's not true. Like in Paris, someone who is doing his work, he's, let's say, teacher in school, Brahman. So he can't engage that in Krishna service. He can do both directly and indirectly, because this social body is part of Krishna's body. So when you do your duty perfectly in social body, Krishna is satisfied. Varnashram acharavata, Purusha Puman. How is going that verse? Krishna is pleased by that. You do your duty, your Varna, can you imagine? And that's part of our self-realization. So, and plus also you can, the benefits of your service, you engage directly in deity worship or in your home deity worship. So in that way, you can always serve Krishna. No? It's called Srishti Seva, the service in creation. And this Vedika Vidi has the purpose to support your Pancharatrika Vidi, following your rules and regulations. When you come home, you follow your rules and regulations of doing deity worship. You have your deity at home, and in that way, you can engage the benefits of your work. You buy the bogat for Krishna, buy dresses, etc., etc. And plus this Varna Vritti, the income is protecting you from doing immoral activities like being butcher or whatsoever in any demoniac industry. So in that way you can nicely follow Vidis. And what means Vidis? Vidis means to serve Krishna directly, but in regulated way, like deity worship. It's not that we offer whenever we want something. We offer as per rules and regulations and as per the schedule. And if we follow that, then our nature will naturally become sattvic and brahminical. And from that platform, we nicely can do Shravan Kirtan Vishnu Smaran. Because sometimes people say, just chant Hare Krishna and be happy. That's true. But how much you are doing that? How much are you really engaged in chanting and hearing during the day? Are you really doing it like Haridas Thakur, 192 rounds a day, eating very little, sleeping few hours? So we can't imitate that. We say, oh, Kali Yuga Dharma is Harinam Sankirtan. Fine. And then just sit somewhere on the bank of Sena and chant. Make one small hut and chant over there. But who can do that? Or go to forest? Who can really just do Bhagavat Vidi? Just take bhagavatam and chant. Don't care if it's for eating you have or you don't have. That is Bhagavat Vidi. It's just like Maharaj Parikshit did. So because we can't do that, therefore Pancharatrika Vidi and Vaidika Vidi are there to support this. But we should know that Bhagavad Vidi is the essential. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam. So it's not that we follow so many Vedic rules, so many Pancharatrika rules, and finally we don't have time to listen about Krishna. No, Krishna book creates the Smarana about Krishna. It's very nice engagement in remembering the Krishna. Always remember Krishna, never forget him. Smartavya satatam Vishnu, vismartavyo na yatachit. Sarve vidi nishedasur etereva kinkara. All other rules and regulations, vidi and nishedas, are just servants of this first two. Prabhu, that would answer your question?
Yeah, that is very thorough. I mean, I didn't know that there was this third vidi that is helping us to have steady Pancharachika and also aim towards Bhagavad Vidi. I was also thinking about what Janani was Prabhu said in Mayapur. He said that Pancharachika Vidi is actually trying to help us to see the super soul within the heart of the living being, and that correlates to what you said about Paris. That of course we have this vision of Paris, but are we really aware that this is an expansion of Radha Parisisvara? And of course that would be the process of Pancharachika and establishing Bhagavad Vidi in that way. And it seems to be a long and difficult journey.
Yeah. Yes. It's easy but not simple. It's easy because you need to offer. Krishna is saying such a simple thing in the Bhagavad Gita. Patram pushpam palantoyam yome bhakti prayash. The one who offers me with love, the leaf, flower, water or fruit, I will accept. It's such a simple thing. No, it's simple but not easy. Yes, it's simple but not easy because the nartas are there. No? So it's like I think this path is like walking like till the fence for one lifetime, because this world has one story and we want to hear that story. So from here to the fence, it's one lifetime. It's simple. It's 20 steps and we go for a lifetime, right? Because it's not easy. No, oh, this is there, that is there, let me do this. Finally we do come here. No? Like that is our story, yes. But in Sadhu Sangha we can develop rati and buddhi, the affection and cognition of Krishna, and then slowly we'll achieve that perfection. Anything else, maybe?
But if they don't get Prabhu, then we don't have a question.
No, I could not really understand how Shukracharya got the eyes pierced in your story. What happened? Who pierced his eyes?
Vamanadeva.
Vamanadeva.
With kusha grass, with grass, with tip of grass.
And at what point he pierced his eyes?
The Shukracharya took the form of fly and came to the kamandala or the water pot of Vamanadeva. Ramacharya carries the water pot, an umbrella.
And at this moment, at this moment when he came.
Exactly when he came.
And this was before he took the 3 steps of land.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, brother. Yes, right.
And why we didn't read about it?
Sorry?
We didn't read about it, did we?
No, this is from other Puranas.
Okay.
It is not in Shumabhava.
Okay.
Yes.
That explains it. Thank you for clarification. It's actually useful, because I was convinced that it was like after, so that we had to read it after the Varuna rose and everything, but actually it was before, good to know.
Yeah.
Otherwise they will be disappointed. Oh, where is the fly? And
No, it's not from here.
Okay. And so you mentioned, thank you very much for beautiful elaboration on this subject, to give quite a lot of practical aspects for our sadhana and understanding more globally things. And I have a question, like you mentioned already, that Maya is like, it depends how we look at it. If we have this tendency to consider it all useless and just like, there is a stage, I would say. My question is like this, sorry, it's one, but there is somehow this inner emotional stage at certain point. Some devotees experience, myself also back in the day, sometimes that we see that it's so meaningless, you know, like it usually happens maybe in the beginning more, that when we see that what is real, like we are attracted by the reality of Krishna, but then we see this world out as something in duality, you know, like that this is not real, like in a way, and anyway what you guys are doing, it's like useless and things like this, and we are like somehow again chewing what was chewed before, and it's all, and there is this type of mood that sometimes I remember also for some devotees can appear. So is it like normal and we just carry on? Because now I feel that actually inspiration comes from engaging everything in the service, but in this stage I remember it was quite a little, not depressive, but apathy was a little bit there. Is it okay? We just, we don't need to force it, we just wait a little and it get better? Or would you recommend to just go and do something proactively to surpass this type of, let's say, perception?
Yeah, I think that's a natural state for sadhaka, and indicates kind of our tatastha shakti, marginal position, that we can be engaged in Mahamaya, Yoga Maya. And usually in the beginning of our spiritual life, we want to disengage from Mahamaya. We don't understand much about Yoga Maya, but Mahamaya we want to disengage, and for that reason we do tapasya. More of trying to be free than to please Krishna.
Yes, this comes up.
Yeah, because we are so much disturbed by previous samskaras and by previous activities that we would just want to be free. It's not about love for Krishna, it's about being free. And spiritual life is not about that, finally. The Mayavadis, they're more free from this world than we are. I mean, we as a sadhakas. They can eat or not eat, or sleep or not sleep, and things like that. We are not on that level. So there, till the liberation, they can be more liberated. But spiritual life is not about that. Transcendental life is about engaging senses. So what happens to us? We disengage our senses. We forget about our family. We forget about this world, about ourselves. We want to curse or condemn ourselves, our position, but in one moment we find that we are not pleased, because this practice can be detrimental to bhakti. And the shift happens when we realize that material life means that happiness comes from directly pleasing our senses, but spiritual life means being pleased through others. Being pleased, when I please Krishna and his Shaktis, including all Vaishnavas, then I'm pleased. And that's the natural position of devotee bhakta. Everyone in Swarup Shakti, they act like that. Because purity means that I don't want to satisfy my lust, greed and anger. I want to please others. A devotee who acts like that abandons the world. He feels dissatisfied, but he is not engaged properly, or doesn't acclimatize yet to the happiness coming from the pleasure of others. And that's the part of anartha nivriti. In anartha nivriti, in one moment, we can purify this anartha or that anartha, dushkritota, sudhritota, different kinds of anarthas, but in one moment we need to surrender to our free will, like Bali Maharaj. Free will means I don't want to be frivolous or independent, pritak bhava, separatist. We're all separatists in this world. Everyone lives in his own world. And unless we abandon that nature of pritak bhava, we will not see happiness coming from Krishna's associates. Means from Vaishnavas, from my guru, from deities, Tulasi Devi. So unless we accept that we have to, in order to be free from karma and engage in bhakti, unless we kind of become natural in that position, that state of what you're saying will be there in our heart. And how we do that, as I said in the beginning of class, doubt your propensity, Prabhupada said. So that's the safe part. So the Prabhupada's pedagogy was very much, how to say, different than nowadays. As I say, Mataji Adharani was paint for Krishna. Then you will naturally feel engaged and integrated in that in spiritual world. But if you just want to disintegrate from this world and not integrate in spiritual life, that kind of weird mentalities come, and that's called kubhava. Kubhava means, ku means like wrong or perverted or diseased. Just like inattentive chanting. You chant inattentively, and this creates the mind. It's kind of schizophrenic. You say one thing, you think another thing, and you're walking and going around. Never do these things, because you're kind of in three realms. Chanting the holy name is transcendental. It's Binatvanama is not different from Krishna. No, with your lips, in your mind you're in somewhere else, and in your body you're in Paris. Wow. you're not even fantastic, you're struggling. No? So to do when we do some activity, we should do that activity, and we should be good managers in our life. Artha Shastra is how to practice management properly. Shukracharya is very good in management. You can learn that from him. Yes, so there are many other aspects which we can say, but this is at least some of them.
Thank you.
Alright, Prabhu said sharp, we should finish, but we crossed. Gantaraj bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hare Krishna.